Good morning. How do we transform childhood physical, sexual, emotional abuse, neglect? These are big questions for many, many people. One thing potentially to look at is looking at some people's spiritual beliefs. Some people believe that that our soul chose our parents and our childhood circumstances karmically, so that then we can develop spiritually from those challenges, very, very difficult challenges. So that's one potential spiritual belief. Now, either way though, whether someone has that spiritual belief or not, it seems wise to act as if we chose our parents and our childhood circumstances, because by acting like that, we avoid feeling like a victim, and we have the possibility then, the opportunity to feel empowered. So that's a major shift from potentially feeling like a victim to feeling empowered if we act as if we chose our childhood circumstances, our parents. Unfortunately, abuse often goes along with neglect. They can be two sides of the same coin. Let's say a father sexually is abusing his daughter for years, chronically in early childhood, and the mother knows about it but doesn't intervene. You have on one side, on one hand, the father's abuse, and then on the other hand, the mother's neglect. And that's a very, very difficult combination for a child to grow up with, of course. So our beliefs and experiences are very connected. One could even say our beliefs create our experiences. One quick example, I remember a patient, a lady in her 50s. She'd been chronically sexually abused by her father in early childhood at a very early age. And at the time she was seen in the clinic, she was in a sexual relationship with a man whom she was not attracted to and didn't really want to have sex with, but she was in that relationship in order to have a place to stay. So one could say potentially this woman may have developed the belief in early childhood that in order to survive, she needed to have sex with a man, and she was, based on that belief, currently, or when she was seen in the clinic, with a man again and being used sexually by that man. So our beliefs are very important and very powerful in with regard to the trajectory of our lives. Now, very, very often, if someone is an abuser, they have a history of abuse. I'm remembering one particular patient, a gentleman in his 50s, who had been incarcerated for sexually abusing children, young boys, and he himself had been abused sexually as a young boy. So very often, like I said, if someone is an abuser, they've been abused themselves in childhood. Now that, of course, is no excuse, because many, many people who have been abused in childhood do not go on to be abusers. So it's no excuse, but it can help the person who's been abused by someone gain perspective as to where that abuse is coming from in the abuser. I mean, why the abuser is doing that, or one reason in the background of the abuser that this is happening to the person who's been abused. So again, many people with a history of abuse in childhood become loving parents, and they have the awareness, they have enough awareness in order so that they can act differently from their parents. And that could even be seen potentially as a silver lining. If someone has been abused sexually, physically, or neglected in childhood, if they have the awareness, they do not have to reenact that with their own children. So the trajectory can be very different. Some people with a history of being abused perpetuate the cycle and become abusers, whereas others with a history of abuse become loving parents and loving people. So there really can be huge differences from person to person and it seems to depend on their awareness of their feelings and beliefs. So all of us, we want to become aware of our feelings and not perpetuate the cycle of abusing or being abused. And that's not easy, because that means we want to transform our deep-seated, possibly subconscious or unconscious beliefs. So let's say someone has the belief, no matter what I do, I'll be abused. We may want to transform that to, I will be respected. So that transformation is simple but not easy, and can take a lot of time, because again, many of our beliefs are very deeply rooted and subconscious or unconscious. But by transforming our beliefs, we can create a different trajectory in our lives. And this is a very large topic, and I'll talk about this topic in other videos. Thank you.